All right. Hi, this is Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. Today we're playing on the long arm, and I will get to talking as soon as some people start coming on. So I'll give everyone a chance to get the notification, and then I'll get started. So while we wait to get started, I'll just run along the quilt as I wait. Obviously, this is just one area of the quilt, but I'll get to everything in just a moment. So let everybody find the video. For everybody that's joining, watching this either as a live stream or replay, I quilt on a King Quilter 2 Elite. It's on a 12-foot frame. It's an 18-inch machine, and it's amazing. I love it. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. Yeah, so we got some 15 people in so far. We got Rowena, Paula, Kim, Jessica, Darlene, Christine, Debbie, Laura, Zella, got 17 now. We got Joe here. June is here. Judy is here. All right, so today I am long arm quilting my youngest subscriber's quilt. She is 10 years old and she lives not in Arizona. She follows me here on YouTube, and because she's a minor, I'm not going to say who it is, but I will tell you the little backstory about this quilt. Hi, Shirley. Anyway, so there's a little backstory. Of course, I found out I have my youngest subscriber who is 10 years old, and she's just cute as a button, let me tell you. She wants to be like me, quilt like me, and everything. It's so amazing. It's so cute. So her grandparents take care of her, and one of her grandmas is a quilter. So she stays with her grandma quite often, and her grandmother has me do quilts of hers. So one time, about 6 months ago, I decided to send my 10-year-old subscriber, I curated her a quilt kit. So I went through my 2.5-inch strips, and I pulled out out certain colors because I was given a list of colors that she may not like. I pulled out all sorts of strips and put together a quilt kit for her. So not only did she get 40 2.5-inch strips, but she had also gotten the yardage to make her first quilt, along with a pattern. A very simple, easy, first time for beginner pattern. And as you can see, it's even on point. Like seriously, this little 10-year-old, she put this together on point. Now she did have a little help from her grandmother to cut the pieces, but everything else she did on her own, piecing, ironing, and so on and so forth. So she used the machine, she did all the ironing, she laid her own quilt out, she sewed it together, she did all of that. And in this whole process, I told her if she finishes it, that if she sends it back to me, I will quilt it for her for free. Yep. So this, just because this is the most adorablest thing in the whole wide world to me, and it makes me happy. So this is my 10-year-old subscriber's first quilt, all on her own. And if you saw the thumbnail to this video, it's the whole quilt. I'm not going to take you off the mount until I'm completely done. But yeah, she really, really wants to see it quilted in a video. And her other stipulation was she wants it fluffy. She likes when I use the fluffy batting in quilts. And she doesn't want it too tightly quilted. She wants it to remain fluffy. So we're going to do some wide quilting to keep the quilt fluffy for her, because she wants it to be squishy fluffy, which I understand, because I really think it looks adorable when it looks like a quilumpeter. So, yeah, there's the little story to that. Welcome everyone else that's joining in. And yeah, let's get to quilting my youngest subscriber's quilt. And I can't tell you her name, but her grandmother may or may not be here. And if she is, if she wants to say who she is, then she can in the chat. But I'm not going to say it out loud because she is a young child. So anyway, here we go. Let's start quilting. We're just going to do an all over flower and leaf. You guys have seen me do this before, but it's the best one that creates the best fluffiness, I think. As always, I'm going to stitch 10 stitches per inch in precision mode. So if I'm going too fast, you're going to obviously hear my machine beep at me because it tends to do that when I quilt too fast. So let's get to quilting a 10-year-old's first quilt. Yay!
They're all loving it. They're saying, what a lovely thing to do. It's very cool.
Yes, I was so excited when I found out that she wanted to be a quilter, and this was just, it made me so happy that I had to just rush into my quilt room and put together a little kit for her and sent her the easiest pattern I could find. And yeah, she did amazing. Her points are amazing. Like everything looks so good. So, all right, let's get started. And if I don't see the comments, Scott will read them to me as some come in. But for now, just let's watch me quilt. Oh, and the thread color is Yellow Wisp because it looks great on this off-white color. I totally forgot the name of this color when I sent her the kit, but it's an off-white, and the Yellow Wisp looks perfect on it. So here we go. Again, for those that are joining, I am quilting my youngest subscriber's quilt, who is 10 years old. She did this all on her own. Yes, okay, so if you can hear while I'm quilting, I sent my 10-year-old subscriber, she's my youngest subscriber, I sent her a kit, and I curated it myself from my 2.5-inch strips, and told her if she puts the whole thing together, I sent her the strips and the background fabric and a pattern, and I told her if she puts it all together to send it back to me, and I will quilt it for her and send it back to her for free. Because she's my youngest subscriber, and this makes me so happy to do. This melts my heart, let me tell you. It's amazing. And the cool part is that she put this together in like 6 months. I think even less. If her grandma's here, she could probably correct my brain timeline because my brain timeline is totally off. Said what?
You're the most awesome person.
Aw, thank you. So we're gonna attempt to quilt this whole quilt in one video because it's not getting much quilting. I mean, it's getting lots of quilting, but it's just very spaced out. And by the way, the quilt is like 60, I think it's like 61 by 73 or something like that. There's a little hair right here. I'm gonna have to get it after. Get it when I come back up that way. Nope, she wants to bind it herself. She wants to do everything else herself. There is a hair right there, and it's gonna annoy me. Sometimes I can't get the little hairs that somehow end up quilted in the quilts. So weird. And if you guys saw me load the red snapper video the other day, that was actually her quilt backing. It was it's very wild and blues. It's really pretty.
Thank you for doing your extended video. She really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Row one done. All right, so here's the quilting, and I'll take you guys to see, like, here's her points. Look at that, so good. Like, look where that came together. Like, this is amazing for a 10-year-old. I'm like, so like, I wish I was that good when I was, how old was I when I started 6 years ago? It was horrible for me in the beginning. I was really bad, but then I didn't follow a pattern either. I was just cutting stuff up.
Amazing job.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to advance.
Should we do that?
No, I got it. You can just read comments today. Look at how fluffy that is. So fluffy. I'll take you guys close. Let's see if that backing shows up. No, it doesn't. Can we see? There it is. So that's the backing fabric. Can you see that? It looks so cool. All right, let's Let's tip this back down where it goes. Oops, sorry. Okay, stay. All right, clamps on. I'm going to straighten it out because it has the super duper fluffy.
The colors are so vibrant.
Yes, they are. You'll see when I'm done. I'll have Scott hold it up. I'm going to base the sides real quick because you have to with this batting. It is like a definite must, or else this thing will shift so badly. So for anybody that's just joining, this is my 10-year-old subscriber's first quilt. I curated her a kit and she put it together and sent it back, and I'm quilting it for her for free because she's so awesome. Melts my heart. Now I just need to get out there to more 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
So that they can learn how to quilt too. It just sucks that YouTube like mainly wants my channel to be for over 18. Because every once in a while I say a curse word and it's accidental. All right, here we go. We're gonna switch it back and start quilting some more. While I'm right here, you guys can see. Like, look at that. So good. She lined all that up so good. It's like perfect. guys noticed that whole time, I don't always take the same direction every time I do a row because I want it to be as organic as possible so it doesn't look like a computer did it, yet it does at the same time. I just try to keep with the flow. You can see all that fluff. So much fluff. She's gonna love it because of all the fluff. All right. All right, so now I'm going to baste the sides. This thing is already off the floor. Like I said, it's not very big. It's perfect size for a 10-year-old. All right, so I'm just going to baste down the side, keeping everything nice and straight. I think I'll have to change my bobbin soon, though, because I just did 2 rows. Come over to the other side. Oh, and I'm going to tell you right now, there is a safety pin right here. And when I get to this block, I'm going to be going around this first piece completely so that because she wants to write her name in it. She wants to write her name and her, the time, the name and date like we usually do on her quilt. She wants it on the front of her quilt. This block specifically right here, now that I'm at it, this specific block is her first pieced block right here. So I put a pin in it so that I can make sure, because she sent me a couple pictures to say this was her first block. She kept pointing at it. So for everybody to be able to see her writing in it when she, shows her first quilt off that way. I put it in I saved it for a light piece. So there's that. So as soon as I get to it, I'll be going completely around it. And I'm not going to use a ruler to go around it. I'm just going to quilt around it because it's easier to just quilt around it than to try to ruler it and change out feet and stuff. Because this foot is not meant for ruler quilting. So I'll just leave this one on here. All right. Just doing a quick straighten out. We're going to change it back out and I'm going to start quilting, but I know I'm going to run out of bobbin real soon. Starting to run out. I don't know if you guys can hear it through the camera, but if you hear that strange like spinning sound, that's actually the bobbin getting low. because when it's lower, it feels looser inside the bobbin casing, and it makes a weird spinning sound, I guess is the word. What? Loop right there. And you come down it. There it is. I knew it was gonna go out soon. All right, let me change my bobbin so I can continue on. I just need to reach under there, put it out. So you can see I kind of just did a loop around it, and then when I get to the next row, I'll fill in right here and right here, so that way this whole entire strip of block is not quilted. So I'm going to put a new bobbin in. Okay.
Hi, June. June says hi.
Hello. Welcome, everybody joining. If you're wondering what I'm quilting, this is my youngest subscriber's quilt. She is 10 years old, and she made it all by her lonesome. She did such an amazing job that I'm quilting it for her for free, because why not? It's an amazing thing to do. All right, so I'm gonna back this up a little bit before where it ran out. That way the stitches all meet together. Tie it off, run it along that.
Darlene says, wow, she's an amazing new quilter.
Yes. I'm going to stop it right there so I can snip away where that ended, and you can't even tell now. Okay. coffee. All right, so I'm going to advance it. Just a few more rows and the whole thing will be done. About right there. I'm going to base the sides. Ah. Hope everybody's having a good day and the weather is nice for everyone. Or at least everyone's staying cool if it's not. I've been inside all day with a tummy ache, but I've been creating just so that I can keep my mind occupied like I usually do when I have issues. Tomorrow I'll go to the gastro doctor in hopes that I can finally fix my gallbladder.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. Welcome everybody that's joining. I'm just quilting my youngest subscriber who is 10 years old's first quilt because I sent her a care package of curated strips and a pattern and some background fabric, and she made her first quilt. Stop it right here for a second and look underneath because
They're all saying it's hot and humid where they are.
I can feel or sense.
Kim says they got thunderstorms.
Oh, it looks good. I don't know why it feels like that. Every once in a while I got to keep going underneath and checking my tension because every once in a while, like a fresh bobbin, this one was just put in at the end of that last row. Sometimes it like spins weird and like knocks it off or something. I don't know what really happens inside of there. I just know that it can be annoying. Welcome everybody joining. If you hear a beep, it's because I'm going too fast. I've been trying not to this whole quilt. It's really hard not to though. Typically a fast quilter. like from start to finish fast quilter. I don't take my time doing anything. Looking for my block that I'm trying to not work on. I go around it and then come back. Yeah, that's crazy. Who knows? Practice, practice, practice. I started free motion quilting. No. I started free motion quilting, and then I begged my husband, it's time for a frame because that is just what I need. So I got a frame, and that my first one I grew out of. It was a 10-foot frame, and it ran my Juki on it. And so that frame did not fit this King quilter when I went to buy a new machine or any other machine. It was meant for tray quilting, I guess. I don't know. So I grew out of that and needed more space because I kept getting frustrated. So I upgraded to an 18-inch on a 12-foot frame after 2 years. Hold on, I'm taking a drink of water. Trying to stay hydrated because my belly. On to the next row, and I completely avoided the block that she wants to write her name in. I mean, for For like any other kind of quilt, if I was to have done this the non-fluffy way, I would have actually took a ruler and went around a certain block if someone wanted me to leave it out.
Fluffy looks good though.
Yes.
I like fluffy.
I like fluffy too. I love fluffy. I'm a fluffy quiltaholic. All right, so it's kind of, I'm gonna have to spray it probably. No, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Like I said, no quilt is perfect, especially a first time on point. So it's kind of tight at one end and loose at the other. So I'm going to have to do some stretching when I get towards this bottom to keep it straight, because when I pull on one side, the other side kind of yanks with it. So I'm just going to work with it. Normally I would like spray it with water and iron it, but I don't have all that out here and it'll take me a long time to make this work. Fabric is stretchable. Okay, so I got to do some stretching right here just to keep it all square. All right, and I'm gonna start quilting, and I'm gonna do some pulling while I'm quilting on it. I'm like in awe that I can't believe a 10-year-old did this. I mean, a lot of people struggle with on point, you know, and years of quilting, but a little 10-year-old put this together on point. She's meant to be a quilter. Well, if you guys can see, the owner of this quilt,
Yeah.
who made this.
Thank you. This is right.
Oh, see, she's on. So you guys can tell her what a beautiful job she has done just here in the chat.
Extremely.
And look, sweetie, I am doing 100% fluffy for you.
Yes, Tiff is very happy and proud of you. You're an amazing young quilter.
Yes. Stuck. I try to make sure I pull all those as I'm quilting. She did absolutely amazing. Okay, on to the next row. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit more pulling and tugging just to make sure that it stays flat. I don't think this last row is even going to fit in my throat space. I might have to go over twice, but I'm almost done.
Maybe get it mailed out tomorrow.
Yep. Back it to about right there. All right, so I'm going to do my half a row here first and then just advance it a little bit and do the full row because I have to tack down the bottom because, like I said, it's a little tight. But we're going to make it work. So I'm going to start by, you can see that it's, as soon as I yank on it, it pulls a different area. We're going to make this work. And if it's not perfect, as long as she can bind it, that's all that matters. All right.
While she's on, do you want to tell her about her backing?
No, it's actually good. See? It landed where it was supposed to because of the fluffy batting. All right. See?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have plenty of space. It's going to end right here. So
Okay.
I had plenty of room. All right. We're going to go tack down that other side. And I'm going to do some pulling and tugging to get it to...
Well, that's what happens when you have the fluffy batting.
Yeah, fluffy batting and on point, as you guys can see when I'm running along this. Fluffy batting and on point kind of don't go well together. But I'm going to do the best I can to get this as straight as I can while I'm on video. It's going to curve just a little. Can you pull on that end just a little bit, please, so it doesn't yank this? No,
Let me put this down. Hold on, let me put this down.
just hold it right here. Hold it really good at that corner seam. Okay, I'm having Scott help me just give it a little bit of a tug because I don't have no water over here to spray.
Do you want me to get you some water?
No, it's good. It's not going to be 100% straight on one side, but when I trim it, it should lay a little bit better, but I'm not going to yank too much. So So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pull, not much. You can see it's starting to angle, but this is the best I can do with what I have. Still a good quilt either way. Okay.
Lori asked her, she said, are you thinking about your next quilt? Since you did such a good job on this one.
I'm gonna have to pop those stitches on that side real quick because it's stretching too much. I'm gonna go to the other side and pop the stitches and do a little bit of, oops, I don't know why I just did that. Do a little bit of opposite pull. That way it doesn't yank at the bottom too much. So I'm just gonna pop out my basting stitches just on this side right here. They come right out, as you can see, all the way down. Just going to re-stretch it the opposite direction now. Okay. That way it stays kind of uniform. Just going to let it fall right about here. Okay, here we go. She will at least know what the top is and bottom is of her quilt. Because one side kind of goes in a little bit.
Hi, Suburban, and everyone else that's joining that I didn't get to say hi to.
And I can't see the chat, guys, because I'm focusing here. All right. I'm going to quilt now, and I'm only going to do half a row, give it a little bit of a tug as I'm going, and then I'm going to advance the quilt a little bit more so that I can do the a full row. To keep stopping because I definitely need to give it some tugging. Do some more tugging. More tugging. Yes, she did an amazing job. Oh, and we're out of bobbin right here at the end. Go
right at the very end.
At the end of this row, at least. All right, so let me pop in a new bobbin real quick, and that should last the rest of the quilt. Let me quick. Where full went. Just so you know, because I haven't had to do this on camera in a while. Here's the bobbin. We're going to do this anyway because I'm here. It comes out to the right hand, always. Goes in like this, slides in that first notch, up and into that. To test it, you lay it in your hand, and if it lifts out of your hand and spins but doesn't lift out of your hand, it's good. It just needs to lift in your hand. And mine just feels a little loose, so I'm just going to give it right here, this little screw. It's this screw. Like the slightest ever tiny turn. Then I test it again, and that's a lot better. Like I barely do anything, but it makes a difference just barely pulling on or turning this. So if you want to tighten it, you would turn clockwise. If you want to loosen it, you would turn counterclockwise. And I just happen to have needed it tightened. All right. So I'm going to go back a few stitches and tack it off. Follow my stitch line where it ended, right there. Snip this away and continue on. Hold on, guys. I need to stop my phone from ringing. There we go. I don't know. It didn't say scam this time. It was a Vegas number. Nope. All right. So now I'm going to do a full pass. I just need to really give it some tugging when I tack this end down right here. All right, so I'm going to adjust the quilt just a little bit so that I can expose the throat space and where I need to go as far as right there. We're going to slide that back under here, and I'm going to go to this side first. I'm going to do my best to give this a good tug. Right about there. I'm adjusting my my clamps on the end. This is going to be really tight. And I'm sorry, sweetie, if you're still watching. This just happens sometimes. Don't ever let it discourage you from quilting. All right. Let's try to get this to stay down. Give it some pulling as I go. Just a little bit this way, and then the rest gonna go the opposite direction. Just so I have a reference of how far.
She says it's okay.
It happens. That's okay. Your grandma can help you with the binding if you need, because it's going to be a little bit shorter on one side, but that really doesn't matter when you're putting it on, as long as the corners are still square. Oops, get off my finger. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to just in my throat space fully right here. Hold on, I gotta put my needle down.
Hi, Penny. Your Joe says it's okay too.
Yeah, it happens. You should have seen my first quilt. It was horrible.
This is what you're all doing well.
Yes. All right, this is really stretching. It's going to be tight, but the fluff should make it okay. So normally you wouldn't have to do this on a long arm, guys. I mean, obviously you have to baste, but sometimes on-point quilts can be shorter on one end and longer on the other.
Well, says amazing quilt. Welcome to the world of color.
Yeah. Come on, get over there. All right, when I trim this, it should trim pretty good. I'm just fully tacking down the edge so it stays folded down. I'm going to cut away the excess batting real quick and then get started on this last row. All right, batting is cut. Let's quilt. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh well. Yeah, I was feeling good the other day for a little while, so I decided to pre-film some video. And then today I'm getting this done. I have another client quilt after this. And it's going to be one that's going to be more teaching than anything. So if you guys want to know, to look forward to it, it's an antique quilt from like late 40s to early 50s is the fabric. So I'm going to show you guys how to properly take care of an antique quilt and loading it on a long arm and quilting an antique quilt, because sometimes they require special provisions to make sure that they stay nice, because it's 100% hand pieced. So I'm going to take advantage of that one to teach you guys that. And then I have another client quilt after that, and so on and so forth. You guys know the drill. So I just got to get things done. So when I feel good, I'm making more videos. Trying to keep myself sane and busy so that I don't think about the problem. It's kind of hard.
I like that. Sane and busy.
And this time they're going to be on display differently than the guys holding them. We actually have a stand that we could hang them up on. for more still viewing experience. And less of them being sore from holding quilts up for, you know, over an hour. Welcome, welcome. What? Oh, you're welcome.
Had her credit card. Attempting to send quilts to her kids in North Carolina.
How funny. I'm gonna put a little like almost through right there at that end.
If you're listening, then you'll get to see the finished product. Go back and watch the replay later.
Alright. Literally at the end. Alright, that's it. I'm going to check over it real quick and then we're going to just pull it off. And instead of trimming it, what I'm just going to do, because I'll trim it later, I'm going to have Scott hold it up so that you guys can see. So let me push it.
Bye, Riley. Riley's going.
Okay. You'll see it soon, or you can finish the video later.
Yeah, we'll try and get it sent off tomorrow.
All right, you guys can stare underneath the machine at fabric for now.
You want me to do this side? I did this side. I can do all that. Stop. Go. Go to your side.
All right, I'm just checking over the quilt real quick by rolling it and making sure everything looks good. I'm making sure that my tension stayed good on the back at the same time as I'm looking for any imperfections, which there isn't. But you never know if you don't check over. No. Oh yeah, you didn't have to anyway because of the reveal. All right, so I'm gonna pop it off the frame now. Just pulling my red snappers off. You guys can see that part, but I don't want to be on camera today because I am literally wearing a very funky nightgown. My hair is a mess and I look like I feel like poop. So, Almost ready. Set. Hold it up over here.
And which side's top or bottom?
That's the top up here.
Yeah, I figured that, but that's what I was asking. Did it matter?
All right, come over here into the light like usual.
Where?
Over here.
Okay, you read comments.
All right. Try to hold it better right here.
My arms don't bend that far, huh?
All right, guys, you're coming off the mount, and we're gonna view the quilt. If I can get you off of here. There we go. There is her finished fluffy quilt. Didn't she do such an amazing job? And it's perfect size. She's 10. She's not super tall. If she's shorter than me, this is perfect to cuddle up anywhere with. We'll come up close so you could see the stitching in full. It's just something I've stitched a lot of quilts with, but
the background too, because it looks really awesome. You hear me?
Yeah. You guys can see, look to the side like this, you could see the fluff in the quilting using the thick batting. Come down so you can see. I totally am trying to scroll through the comments well. And you can see I did not quilt in her block that she wants to write her name in. So if you guys are new and haven't and just came here, this block right here was her very first block she did on putting this quilt together. It was her very first block, so she wanted to sign her name and stuff in it. All right, Scott, turn it around. You guys can see the back she chose. I'm telling you, this is very wild fabric. Bam.
Good though. I like it.
It is really cool, and it's wild.
She did an amazing job.
Definitely something a 10-year-old would choose.
I would choose it. It's awesome.
Yes, it's super cool. And you guys can see the fluff. You can see the fluff in the quilting. She wanted it fluffy. She got fluffy. So it looks really cool. All right, turn it around one more time so that I can get off of here. All right, does anybody have anything? I'm not gonna end the screen at me. I'm gonna end the screen at the quilt. So thank you guys for watching.
Any questions? Did you read the comments?
I can see the comments. It's all just saying great job. So
Okay.
thank you guys for watching me actually quilting my youngest subscriber, who is a 10-year-old first ever quilt. I'm going to trim it up and send it back to her so she can bind it. And yeah, maybe her grandmother will post it in the Facebook group so that you guys can all see her first quilt finished. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye. Almost.